So the reason why we run into the commands of God with joy is because we believe that they're leading to greater life, leading to greater joy. We push all our chips in and we delight in the law of the Lord. Now, you're not going to keep that law perfectly, which brings us to our second and biggest implication of God being about God. If God is about God, look right at me, then you are not the center of the universe. Now breathe out, breathe out. All right, let me press a little bit. Almost all the conflict in your life is predicated and built upon your belief that the world's about you. The reason you get angry in traffic is because the world's about you. Get out of the left lane! The reason why there's conflict in your marriage is because the world's about you, so your spouse had better be doing these things. Why? Because the world's about you. Why are you in conflict at work? Because the world's about you. How dare they say that to you? How dare they do that? How dare they take that from you? How dare they not give you the honor you're due? See, you see what's happening? It's about you. And the more the world's about you, the more angry and tired you'll be. And the more it's not about you, the more free you are. So listen, if ultimately, when I come home, my marriage is about Jesus Christ, and there's a grace there, there's a forgiveness there, there's a patience there, and there's a mercy there. If my marriage is not about the gospel of Jesus Christ, but rather it is about me, then there's expectation there. Isn't there? I mean, there's some things that better be done. I don't hear that, woman. That's what happens if it's about me. It's about me. I start talking about my happiness and what I'm doing, what I'm owed. Or my wife does, but if it's about him, then I'm free. If my money's about him, then I'm free. If pastor in this church is proclaiming the gospel is about him, then I'm free. So if I come into a place like Elevation, it's just ridiculous, man. I mean, I just feel like since I landed, people like rubbing my shoulders and carrying my bags, and it's like, put me down, I can walk, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous. All right, but here's the thing. I'll sleep on your couch. I mean, I'm not going to, but I would, all right? Got me a nice room. I'm staying in that room tonight, Pastor. But ultimately, I don't need that. I'm not in it for that. I'm not the point. So I always get uncomfortable with some of the, oh man, you changed my life. Man, I didn't do anything. Tell you what, I studied some stuff and I yelled at you. And you're a bit masochistic because you wanted me to do that. Now you're, call me a moron again. Okay, moron, all right? And so when it's not about, like, let me give you a biblical example of this freedom. The Apostle Paul, just an untouchable man. I mean, you just couldn't do anything to him. Just unfazed. And this is a man that was hard-pressed. All right? This was a man that was imprisoned and beaten and left for dead on more than one occasion. Right? Shipwrecked twice. Maybe even 3. Shipwrecked 3 times. Like, look, man, my plane goes down, I'm driving. 3 times shipwrecked. And then one of my favorites, he's shipwrecked, gets to an island, gets bit by a snake. Now, at what point are you not going, Lord, are you serious? I'm doing your work. But you couldn't touch him, right? We'll kill you. To die is gain. We'll leave you alone. To live is Christ. We'll torture you. Well, I do not compare the sufferings of this world to be compared to the future glory. We'll put you in prison. We'll give you a hymn. I'm going to convert all your guards and sing the worship when you're done. So how's that possible? That's possible because his righteousness was a foreign righteousness. It wasn't his own. It was given to him in Jesus Christ. See, so if I could take this whole message and kind of just boil it down and condense it into its purest form, here's simply what we're celebrating here. That despite me, despite my continued failures, despite my shortcomings and foolish heart, God, because of the imputed righteousness of Jesus Christ to me and his wrath absorbing death on the cross and his resurrection, now sees me as perfect and spotless and holy, and not because I am, but because he is, which is why Ephesians 2 is going to say that even the faith I had to believe in the grace was given to me by God. So I honestly had nothing to boast in. Like, I couldn't say, well, I believed, because the belief given to me was actually a gift. So that God so owns the glory that everything is his. That's why no one should walk with a swagger in the kingdom, and no one should walk with a limp. We're his. Swagger in the kingdom, and no one should walk with a limp. We're his. And so let me tell you where I think we might be in a bit of a danger. You guys, and I'm speaking specifically now to Elevation, you guys are in a bit of a place that the village has been. That's the